Are they at their absolute happiest? No! Their kids bring them a lot of joy, but no! That is a lot to unpack. Finally, an acknowledgement that William and Kate are pretty unhappy. Although it does seem like Gary knew something about Kate's health at this point. The whole thing with Gary and many other people becoming so obsessed with Harry coming back to be with William and Kate is so unhealthy and gross too. They really want Harry to leave his wife and children, all to be William's doormat and fall guy and punching bag. The stuff about William's violent assault on Harry too. The way people continue to minimize it is really creepy. Anyway, the world would be a much better place if Uncle Gary Goldsmith took Harry and Meghan's names out of his effing mouth. D comments, making money gives you options, which they don't want Harry to have. They love to talk about how stupid and weak he is, but still want him back. Seems to me that type of person would be a lodestone in a professional, high-achieving organization, not one that you are lamenting about leaving and how everything was so much better before they decided to have their own life. They want him back to do all the heavy lifting, whether that's be charismatic for the public, be a buffer between his brother and sister-in-law, do the hard work that requires diligence and oversight, or be the scapegoat for problems caused by the hierarchy. Portsmouth Pup comments, making light about William's physical violence against Harry in a domestic violence is nothing to be upset about comment is an interesting way to deflect from him wanting not to be seen as a wife beater. Jayus comments, it's just weird. Technically, he means it as a put down, but there's not a lot of photos of Meghan laughing like a hyena or anything. She's usually just smiling and engaging. And sure, maybe laughing is supposed to imply shallowness, but it can also imply happiness. Meghan looks happy whether she's out with her friends or her husband. She genuinely seems happy with her life right now. And then Gary just told us that Kate and William are not happy, which, yes, could be attributed to the cancer diagnosis, but it's still odd. He could have said they're facing challenges, but happy to have each other as they go through it. But he did not say that. Guess that champagne had him talking out of turn. Digital Unicorn adds, every time he opens his fat gob, he shows the world where Catty came from. A family of vile, hard-nosed, racist climbers whose only concern is money, fame, and status. We already know Carol is just as bad as her brother, and this is what Kate grew up around. Also, there is a lot of tea here. He's admitting what we've all known for years, that Kate was on the outskirts of his circle since Marlborough, and she used that to stalk him all the way to St. Andrews. And yes, we all know Carol is scheming and devious. She treated Kate and William's relationship like a business arrangement and an ATM. Sunday adds, and this is in the Times no less, it's important to remember that trashy Uncle Gary isn't talking out of turn or saying anything Kate/the firm doesn't explicitly want out there. If the firm, in collusion with the British press, didn't have control over Uncle Gary or Bad Dad, these two would literally never shut up. And yet, they're both conveniently only trotted out whenever the firm needs something particularly unsavory and nasty said, and are otherwise dutifully silent. So all that to say, this should have been viewed as an extension of official palace comms. And my immediate question to that would be why, once again, the firm and the British media would rather further expose themselves as vile racists by continuing to abuse Meghan in the press instead of focusing on heaping sympathy and adoration on their cancer patient primary. This isn't a controlled rollout of a tragic circumstance. This is a distraction technique. Aquarius 64 adds, Uncle Hookers and Blow got some backlash for slagging Meghan and issued a non-apology. I dropped some tweet on his page reminding him of his trashy past and his actions that gave the appearance that Kate ordered him to trash Meghan. I added he's shown the aristos made the right call about Kate and the Middletons. Scheming, social climbers, and George, Charlotte, and Louis are going to be targets of bullies at school, thanks to him. Harper comments, Carol is cunning and devious, and that is how you run a business. Wow. Carol asked small vendors to extend her credit based on her proximity to the throne, and then stiffed them when the company went bust. Then cried about posters being pinned all over Buckleberry, calling her out for her deeds. This interview needs to be archived as the closest picture to what really goes on in Middleton Manor that we've ever gotten. Missy comments, well, sometimes when you let your drunk pitbull brother / uncle loose to attack others, he comes back around to bite you in the ass. Oops, ha! Mary Pester comments, so, Uncle Gruesome, you don't like your hard-earned title as a wife-beater and drug dealer? Well, how about you're an effing lying grifter? Does that suit you better? Better yet, your sister and niece fell out of the same tree. This man gives scum a bad name. Yes, Carol is a master manipulator. Just ask Willie. No, Meghan did not call Bone racist. Piers Morgan did. You spouting off at the mouth just shows you know F all about F all. You need to get checked out because your brain is still affected by the booze and drugs. Because you admitted that you had never met Harry or Meghan. So thanks for letting us know you get spoon-fed your opinion by your sister and niece, the real liars. Now, not invited to Sandringham, you say? But the palace says open invitation and they were invited to Balmoral for the summer, were you, Gary dear? And are you that far gone mentally that you didn't grasp that it wasn't the fact that William broke Harry's necklace. It was the fact that 1, his brother resorted to violence, and 2, Harry knew that if he responded in kind, he would have snotted the little BSD. And then William the coward would have had Harry arrested for assault, and Meghan is going to be around a lot longer than you are, you twisted, bloated man. But I will tell you who isn't. Kate, that's who. Because in your own words, Willie has a lot going on. And if he's lucky enough to have his going on willing to wait a bit longer, then Kate will find herself healthy, I hope, and single.